I was up at 4 a.m. yesterday. I mean, truth be told, I stayed up to 4 a.m. For my grandfather's funeral. Grandpa. What a man. What a man. God, just been in waves of grief and joy, and in a moment of joy right now. And real celebration of this being. Yeah, he was such a giver, such a giver and holder, such a humble but in his power being. I loved looking at some of the photos of him when he was younger, and you know how when people age, they just they subtly change their shape a little, and almost the original form of them gets, you can't quite see it always. Just seeing my grandpa as a young man, his big nose and his like strong but relatively slender form. Just a beautiful being. And just his smile, his smile. Yeah, it was just really touching. I wanted to jump on just to share that I had a really beautiful experience. I've been having a lot of grief about how we hold ritual passage or passage in a ritual way in this moment in time, how my family's able to, how most of the world's able to, and how I'm able to only gently influence that in just the subtlest of ways. Walking through some water now. So wet. So fucking wet. That sucks. Okay. And yeah, I've been kind of, I suppose, really feeling the soreness of our family not being able to come together in really rich ways, and maybe I've got an overemphasized form of that being on the other side of the world. And how we can't, we're really struggling in these times as families, as little micro ecosystems, to rally and hold death beautifully. One of the things that I've noticed, some of my friends, they come from cultures or they come from cultures or family fields where when someone passes, everyone gathers, the cousins gather, the aunties gather, the uncles gather, the dear friends gather, and they spend 4 days with the body. And together really in a celebration of life, in a grief portal, tears and joy, laughter and dancing, reflection and memories, with the body in a room within the house or within the space where they gathered. And just really it becomes a portal. It becomes a portal of connection and love and alchemy and grief, and just moving through it together. And I've really longed for this. I can feel that, not exactly that necessarily, but just the prayer in that, the love in that, how much that tends to our humanity, how much that speaks to what is vitally needed in these transitionary moments where the love wants to come to the surface, the emotion, the sadness and the connection, it wants to be really ripe and rich and alive. And I've had a grief, maybe even the most significant grief in my grandfather's passing, that this isn't how we've been able to meet it, at least not how I've been able to meet it with my family. So of course the challenge becomes doing it on my own as best I can, meeting this well on my own, and with some kind of digital connection with my family, which is a whole other level of challenge. But I tell you what, after all my kind of grief and sadness about how we do it, that funeral was fucking beautiful. That funeral it had love in it. A bunch of people came. My little brothers, who aren't so little anymore, they're men, proper men. I really saw them as proper men. They delivered the eulogy, both of them standing either side of Mum, Mitchell and Jackson. Proper men now in coming into their mid-30s. You know, I haven't been in Australia. Well, I haven't spent much time in Australia since before the COVID times. So really seeing them owning their manhood and just speaking so beautifully and honestly, authentically, and yeah, it just really touched me. Seeing my little brothers grown up so much, you know, they've been such a big part, such an inspiration on my own journey. Whew. Yeah. My mum's just this endless powerhouse. Former principal, former teacher, become principal, become leader, become kind of matriarchal being. Just one of the best kind of clear, solid, loving speakers you'll come across. Yeah, I'm just really proud of my family, really inspired by my family, and really touched by the love that we were able to meet this thing with, even in the form that it took place. So I suppose just gentles my heart a little bit. Feels a little softer, and it also gives me a little bit more hope, a little bit more faith that together we can continue to deepen into our humanity and more meet birth and growing and death in the ways that they really deserve, in reverent ways, in honourable ways, in ways that isn't just for the being, but it's for the whole community, for the whole family. Yeah, I really believe that we can do that. Might take a while, but bit by bit. Yeah, thanks for your ears. Big love.